Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hangover Sports podcast. My name is JP Grace, and I am here today with the second most popular person at High Point University, behind Nito Quaban, Jason Statham.
Everybody cheers for the number 2 spot. Just saying.
And I am also here today with TikTok star and football insider Max Gibbons-Gray.
Hello. Facts with Max.
And we have a background person as well, Gray, who's going to be our executive producer today. So let's give him a round of applause.
Hey, Gray.
Yeah.
What's up, Gray?
You guys hear me okay?
Yes, it looks like it's working. Perfect.
Okay, so obviously right now we have to talk the biggest thing in sports, which is the rumor of Tom Brady's retirement. What do you think about that? As you a Patriots fan and Max as like the football insider.
Okay, so he's got a couple nicknames right now. Okay, first one being Tommy Boy, and then the second one being Tampa Tommy. And so over the years, I've seen Tom Brady play a lot. Well, he's been around since 2000, so I think we've all seen him play for basically most of our childhood, right? And one of the big things is, I've had the honor of seeing him play in person, almost every year. And then obviously when he moved to Tampa, I think it was a sign that he was going to retire eventually, because that's where all of the retired New Englanders go. So now that it's actually getting out there, that's going to be a big question mark, because like we were saying a little while ago, there's the one side that's saying he is going to retire, and like Gray was saying a little while ago, in the sense that, there's tweets coming out saying, ESPN's going to stand by their reporters, and that, they're not backing down from it, which we were all saying, like, it's great to see that, companies, so, faithful when their employees, which is the way it should be. And that's definitely a company we should all work for, knowing that the managers and all the head honchos of it are going to stand their ground with the people that work for them. So, there's that one side of it, and now there's reports coming out saying that he's not going to retire, and then even Tom Brady was like, hey, look, I haven't made an official statement yet, and that's something that we might hopefully get tomorrow, depending on whether Tom Brady actually wants to or not, because he obviously now has to clear this up for literally every single person around the globe.
Yeah, if I can inject myself into the conversation and say this, the Bleacher Report, I'm not that informed of sports, but they literally just tweeted, Tom Brady informed the Bucs today that he's actually not even close to making a decision on retirement.
Oh, yeah.
Per Jeff Howe, sorry.
It up in the sports world.
Yeah, and it's actually crazy as well, because me personally, I've watched a couple of his games, and like, if you really think about it, like 22 seasons, 15 Pro Bowls, 3 MVPs, 7 Super Bowls, like if I was him, I would say I think it's ready to put the arm down, because like it will be very hard for anyone to really surpass his accomplishments, because he is going to go down as probably the greatest quarterback who ever lived.
Yeah,
just like how Babe Ruth was regarded as the greatest baseball player who ever lived. Like, Tom Brady is
that guy,
the Babe Ruth of football. And it will be very hard for anyone to really pass his record, because I'm reading he wanted to play until he's 45, but like, I think it's time for him to retire. I mean, like I said, I'm not that big of a football guy or a sports guy in general, but hats off to this guy. Like, he's accomplished so many things. Like, he is going to be regarded as the greatest quarterback who ever lived.
Yeah, and even like, there's been some videos I've watched on him, and just like his hunger and his drive to keep like wanting to get more. It's definitely something that I've always loved about him, because even every year, if he's missed it, whether he's missed a Super Bowl or if he won the Super Bowl, he's always gone back home after the game and then set his clock in his gym, like in his gym in his house, for the next Super Bowl, right? He's like set his clock for that countdown, so that way every day he can go into his gym in his house, and he has like the timeline of when that next Super Bowl is, right? So he wants like the best of the best, not only for his personal drive, but for his teammates as well. So like even earlier in the season, it was like a few weeks ago, Tampa Bay was playing a game, and he knew that Gronkowski was getting ready to have like a pay raise, right, if he had one or two more receptions. And so Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Buccaneers, wanted to pull Brady out and was like, hey, no, like I know Rob Gronkowski is one catch away. I think it was like for like $1 million bonus. And so
just a small $1 million bonus.
Right. And
that's like mere pennies to these guys.
Yeah. And it's like Brady went out there, right, and he lobbed the ball to Rob Gronkowski, and then just to make sure he got that bonus, right? And then after that happened, he's like, all right, I'll be done for the game. So it's just like the silliest stuff like that, right? Where like Brady knows like he wants the best for other people too. So like just to kind of see stuff like that, like obviously we all know Tom Brady, like Gray was saying, as the GOAT, like literally greatest of all time. And we all know he has the money between him and Giselle, even though Giselle makes a lot more money than he does. But you know, so they're, in terms of finances, they are set for life. And just to see like he constantly just wants more and more and more and more. So we'll see. I know we went on about that, but I'll stop talking.
Fine, yeah. Max, what was your take on
it? Question is, I've seen conflicting reports where I don't know what's going to happen. There's been about him retiring. There's rumors about him not retiring. Personally, if I was playing football after 22 seasons, I would probably want to retire because of how much your body takes in. But like we know, if he's been here for 22 years, he loves the game. He doesn't want to back away with it unless it's something necessary. So I feel like if he's conditionally fit and his mind still wants to play another season, if anyone can do it, he can do it. But the question is does he want to go through like off-season training again and all the work that is required just to go to the first game of the season? It takes a lot of conditioning out of your mind and your mental practice just to get to the first game of the season of next year.
Yeah, I'll say this as well because like with Tom Brady, if he is to retire, like there's a lot of reason why we're waiting on an official announcement because if he really wants to retire, he really has to think about what he's going to be letting go. Because 22 years, he's about to let go of half of his life.
Right.
Like, because I looked it up. He's 44 years old now, literally to the point he's letting go of half of his life if he is to retire. And I actually also just acquired from Adam Schefter's Twitter account. He's a ESPN senior NFL insider, and he got a statement from Tom Brady's agent, Don Yee, that reads this. I understand the advanced speculation about Tom's future. Without getting into the accuracy or inaccuracy of what's being reported, Tom will be the only person to express his plans with complete accuracy. He knows the realities of the football business and planning calendar as well. So that should be soon. But, like, that's why we are on so much speculation because there's so many rumors where we don't have an official statement yet because – like, if he is going to retire, like I said, he's about to give up what his life has been outside of his family.
Right.
But, like, he's wealthy enough to support his kids throughout the rest of his life.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to see, too, right? Like, in the sense that when he did leave New England to go down to Tampa, we were all distraught, right? It was just like, we felt like it was the end of the world. And so what I do want to see, this more than likely won't happen, but what I always wanted to see was him literally sign like a one-day contract with the Patriots and then retire technically as a Patriot. Like I said, probably won't happen, but I can always dream. So if it does happen I've been dreaming, I'm going to be celebrating for sure. So
yeah, we see that happen a lot in the NBA and stuff too, with players retiring with their teams on the last day.
Yeah, it's definitely very popular for sure.
Now, I'm going to transition to basketball, and I think Max will probably like this list too because as a Warriors fan. So recently, the NBA All-Star stars were announced, and here's my take on it. Kevin Durant, Brooklyn Nets, I approve, even though I'm a Knicks fan. Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously want to approve. Trae Young, I want to approve. I'll approve of that. Joel Embiid, I'll approve of that. DeMar DeRozan, I'll approve about that. And yeah, as I said, DeMar DeRozan has had like a comeback year after being on that Spurs team where he didn't really fit in that well. And then for the West, we have LeBron James.
Kanye West.
Yeah, LeBron James. Los Angeles Lakers, I approve. Nikola Jokic, I approve. Stephen Curry, I approve. John Morant, I definitely approve.
And Dahi Denogla, the swinger of the Lakers.
Yeah, there you go. Gary's got it. But Max, I want to bring up this one with you. I don't think the last player on this on the West roster who I didn't bring up was Andrew Wiggins, who's on your Warriors team. I don't believe he deserves to be there.
Well, are you going to bring that topic up or down?
How dare you?
Should I call campus security real quick?
Please.
Okay, let me call campus security because the fight
I'm
is
about to
about
beat his
to
ass.
break out.
Well,
I'm gonna break him into new
Max,
mold.
Let's go Bears.
Here's the reason why I don't believe he deserves to be there. It's because he's only averaging 18 points, and there's nothing else statistically great about him. If they wanted to put someone in the All-Star game from the Warriors in the starting lineup, it should have been either Draymond Green or it should have been Draymond Green. Now, here's the thing, though. Wiggins, he's a great player. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a reserve, but this is why I feel like, I don't know if you'll disagree with me on this. This is why I think the fan voting should be eliminated from the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, it's your opinion.
You see, the only basketball team I root for is
Celtics,
the High Point University men's basketball team,
Yeah.
and the women's
I
team.
mean,
Yeah, me too. I don't know that much about basketball.
Even though we're only like 9-12, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's
Well,
all right.
It's good. Better
Max,
record
what
out
do
of
you
my
think
last
about
4
the
years.
rest of this list? Because obviously I said
I have not
think-
seen the list, so watch.
Kevin Durant for the East. It's Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid,
Cool.
and then the backcourt players are Trae Young and DeMar DeRozan.
Cool.
And for the West, the
Yeah.
front court players are LeBron James, Nikola Jokic,
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins,
Dog. Yeah.
Stephen Curry, and John Morant.
Yeah.
Now, I think this
That-
is a cool list.
That's
but
a perfect starting five
yeah,
right there. Yeah, that's a perfect starting
I don't
five
think that
on both
Wiggins
ends.
deserves to be there.
And so is Andrew Wiggins a starter?
Yes, as a starter. I don't think he deserves to be there, and this is why I don't like the NBA fan
Well,
vote.
LeBron James is
the
still
thing
playing.
is, like for me, it does not matter because in my opinion, he was gonna be there. He was gonna get a reserve spot anyway. So
Yeah.
either way, he would have been an all-star anyway. So for me, I don't really
Here's the thing,
care if
though.
you're a starter or reserve.
It's debatable if he would be an all-star reserve
He
in the West. It is debatable. Like if
I'm not
he's-
having this
like,
conversation.
if he is a person, if
Someone's
he is a
mentally killing me
reserve on
here.
the West, then RJ Barrett should be a reserve on the East. Then
they're totally different conferences. You can't. No.
There's
Come on,
a
you-
country singer named Gabby Barrett.
because you
Yes,
still
there
have,
is. American Idol.
Yeah, Paul
finalist,
George. Because you still
baby.
have Paul George. You still have Anthony Davis. You still have a bunch of players in the front court from the West who haven't been named yet.
Has Anthony Davis been injured this year?
Well, he's back, isn't he?
But has he been injured this year?
A lot, but yeah, he's still,
See, that's the point. At least Wiggins stays healthy. That's another thing is like the numbers can show something, but at least you're healthy. You know, he's playing almost every night still.
okay. I mean,
I'm
at
not.
the same
I'm penalizing you if you can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you have a point, but going back to it, 18.1 points per game. Yeah, I've seen like what's his name, Andre Iguodala did that, and he made the All-Star game, but he was a reserve.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a completely different All-Star game setup and a completely different.
It's still an All-Star game. It's still showing the same amount of points as Andre Iguodala. What's your
Well,
point?
yeah, that was when there was like an 18-man All-Star game roster. Now it's a 13-game All-Star roster. So this was my take. I don't think he deserves to be there, and I think because of this, we saw who was the Warriors player a couple of years ago who almost got into the All-Star starting lineup.
I don't know.
As
There's
like
so many.
What was his name? The center, your guy's center.
Vucevic? Not Vucevic. It's
It's Magic.
Was he the center of attention?
no.
center on the Warriors.
It's one of the. It's one of the European guys.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I know exactly what he looks like. I just forget his name. I know it's.
He was randomly. He almost made.
No,
this,
well, he had a good year that year.
What?
He had a good year. Yeah, he did.
He wasn't all-star.
All the Warriors have great years every single year. It doesn't matter if you're the first or 12th man.
You guys lost in the play-in tournament last year.
Yeah, because no one was healthy.
Take the L. Just take it.
Editing Ray here. Max said a bad word at this point.
So one report I just saw, changing gears just a tiny bit for one quick second. So there was a baseball team down in Texas called the Sugarland Skeeters, who actually used to be in the same league as the High Point Rockers, but they were bought out by the MLB, and they're now the AAA team for one of the baseball teams down in Texas, MLB teams. So they just changed their name from the Sugarland Skeeters to the Sugarland Space Cowboys.
What?
Sorry, I just figured I'd say that.
Yeah, no, let's transition to baseball now. That Max and I have discussed the All-Star game a little bit. What's going on with the lockout?
So they had a couple meetings earlier in the week. I think they had the meeting Monday, and I guess it went somewhat okay. So then I think they had another meeting again on Tuesday. Haven't really heard a ton of reports coming out of that, so we'll see. The fact that they're meeting is a huge step in the forward direction. So now we'll just kind of keep playing it by ear. Spring training starts pretty much in a month. Towards the end of February is when they're going to start kind of cranking things up down, and whether it's down in Florida, down in Texas, over in Arizona. So hopefully they don't get postponed, because if they get postponed, then, it affects the rest of the year. So that'll be good. And nothing really major coming out of the Little League side of things. All the kiddos, they're going to start playing here again about, a month and a half or so. Registration still rocking and rolling, so nothing too major coming out of Little League. So hopefully all the kiddos up in my town, hometown of Oxford, Massachusetts, hopefully they can have some fun with it this year.
All right, so we do have a couple of NFL matchups today. The playoffs. We got Chiefs 49ers. Bengals, Chiefs, and 49ers, Rams. So, Max, I just want you to talk about those two games and what we should expect from them.
Well, the Niners are, we got to run. Pace offense. It's great.
What are you trying to say, Max?
Niners, we'll run the ball. We'll play Jimmy G. Jimmy G will get the job done. I truly believe in one of my quarterbacks right here. Deebo Samuel is going to be a big giant threat today. Expect a lot of movement out of him. Our backfield is like no other in the NFL. So I think it's going to be a really good game. It's divisional rivals, so you already played them twice a year so far. So this is going to be a third time they've already met. So it's going to be a great game. Of course, you got Aaron Donald on the other end that you need to double team and watch out for. But, nothing that I think the Niners can't handle. I got the Niners winning.
You know who I think is going to win the Super Bowl? The Chicago Bears.
What about the second game?
The second game, we got the AFC Championship. It's going to be Chiefs, and it's going to be the upstart Bengals. It's gonna be a great quarterback matchup. What can I say? You got Mahomie Womi, and you got Joe Burrow. He's a stud. On the other hand, he's gonna get his. There's a lot of weapons that you like for the Bengals on the outside. I think it's just gonna be an offensive clash. I want to say I think the Chiefs are gonna win, but we're gonna be really hard because they're both offensive firepowers who could light up points on the scoreboard. If you want an offensive game, you're going to watch the Chiefs game versus the Bengals. I've got Chiefs, but it's not going to be much by. Maybe a touchdown. It's going to be a great game.
You see, so you all can't see this clearly, but I just put a garbage can right next to Max. Because all the stuff he just said needs to go right here in this Chick-fil-A trash can. So
Do you have a
Jason, do you mean Chick-fil-A trash bag or trash can?
Jason, what's
all of it?
We need to make it very clear that Chick-fil-A does not sponsor this video.
Jason, what's your take on this game? On these games?
I just hope that all the teams have a great time today.
Wait, that's supposed to be my answer. I'm the one who doesn't know sports.
Took his answer. What the heck? Anyway, I'm gonna move on to a topic that I don't think we've discussed on this podcast yet, and that's
You mean
tennis.
you?
So
We haven't talked about you, JP.
To no offense to the tennis players, but I kind of forgot tennis was a sport.
There's a major going on right now.
So, Nadal just won his third. So Rafael Nadal just won his third Australian Open.
Oh, that's right. The final was this morning.
Grand finale.
So, do you think tennis is an underrated or overrated sport to watch?
You know what I think is underrated?
It's an underrated sport to watch. Come on,
Hey,
because it gets no attention in the first place.
You know what I think is underrated? Cricket. Not a lot of people give credit to cricket.
Wait, I thought it was croquet. No one really gives credit to croquet.
Right, or polo.
I have more respect for.
Of course, there's always polio,
Podcast.
which is very different. What?
I said I feel like Ray does a better job of managing this podcast.
JP,
Yeah,
you're
we know
doing
she
it.
does.
I mean, those
You
are
can't do anything.
honestly, those are facts with Max, but
Editing Ray here again. I just wanted to say I thought that was sweet. Okay,
milk.
back to it.
Yeah, you're the milk on the butter.
Right now he has
Who?
Nadal. He has
Yeah, that guy.
Mr. Gibbs,
Yes.
you are a champion.
Damn right, I'm a champion. I'm a
so
god.
he has 22
I'm God.
championships
Goddess.
right now. Where do you think he ranks on like the all-time athletes list?
Like athletes, are we talking about tennis players or
No,
just
we're talking about greatest athletes of all time.
I mean, obviously, him
tough one.
and Roger Federer on the tennis side, they're, in terms of the tennis world, they're again two of the best players we'll see in the tennis arena for a very long time. So it'll definitely be a shocker once they hang up the racket and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely kind of in the floater, I think, at least in the greater circle of like the Tom Brady and the LeBron James and the Shaquille O'Neal and all those kind of greats that we all know.
Yeah. For what my opinion for Nadal, I think I know exactly who he is. He goes down as the greatest clay court player of all time. Clay court player.
Nice.
Roger, I think, is arguably the best grass player of all time. But when you talk about clay court, it's probably Nadal. Because a lot of that, when you go up to Europe, a lot of the surfaces that they play up there are clay. That is beneficial. It's because it's hard to, when it comes to tennis, for me, it's hard to, compare everything because, I think everyone not everyone, but there's a certain player when it comes to that is best to each surface. I think Roger Federer is the king of grass, and I think Nadal is the king of clay. And the French Open is clay, and then Wimbledon is grass, and then I would say the Australian and U.S. Open are usually up for grabs depending on how the draws lay out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right. So Max, you were watching hockey last night. I remember. So what's going on in the NHL world right now?
I think so. Right now we're at halfway through the season. Playoff routes are getting a little heated. So as JP alluded to, I was watching the San Jose Sharks game. It was a overtime loss, but you know what? We get to play at Raleigh tonight, which is gonna be quite the game right here. We're gonna play against Carolina Hurricanes.
I think the last thing I have for today is I think we should all start getting ready for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Who you got winning that?
So the location of it is going to be Brooklyn, New York. The venue is going to be the Nathan's Famous Corporation. And, well, yeah, that's why we need to start getting ready for it. Like I said, because the date of it's going to be July 4th, 2022. And, Joey Chestnut continues to break records. And that's
the best athlete of all time.
There is a guy from my hometown. I think the last round of it, he came in second. So, yeah, here we go, Joey. And then here we go on July 4th for the hot dog eating contest.
So you want to know what? For all the sports management majors who are going to listen to it, you want to know what we need on teamwork.com?
People looking at the resumes?
No. we need more hot dog eating contest internships.
Right.
It's an underrated sport. Teamwork online, people. If you're listening to me, stop giving us fake stuff and start giving us like real sports stuff, like the Nathan hot dog eating contest internships.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
He doesn't want to do that in Brooklyn, New York.
I think that would be actually a fun place to actually intern at. Like, think about it. Like,
I don't,
Fourth of July.
Still,
I watch that every year.
hot dog eating lives matter.
I watch that every year, and I'm marveled in the fact of that.
Max is going into the
That's my 4th of
WWE.
July tradition, actually, to watch that every year.
Max is going
I
into
wake
the
up at
WWE.
10:30 a.m. I get about an hour and a half of prep work, and then noon it all kicks off, and I start seeing like about 15 guys just scarf down like 60 hot dogs a piece.
So I don't think these people even know what's in a hot dog. And I like hot dogs. I don't even know what's in a hot dog.
I can't eat
Right.
hot dogs, but what
JP, you are
They
a
eat them
hot
like
dog.
jelly beans.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like that one episode
Yeah.
of SpongeBob where you see Squidward eating Krabby Patties. He's like, oh,
Oh,
Y'all just get me hungry now. I haven't had anything to eat. So
we had like
I haven't had anything to eat.
Wah, wah,
I woke
wah.
up, watched YouTube, then ran over here.
So, my one issue with the Nathan's hot dog eating contest is that the fact that it's on. Do you think it should be like a nationally televised sport? Do you think it should be a sport?
Yes.
Because obviously we see stuff like
Yes.
that. You think it should be? And ESPN.
Let's put-
I
let's
want to
put
say
this way.
I want to say something. Max, do you think it should be a sport?
I say it's.
I think it's a solid maybe on his
I think it's a
end.
solid maybe. Like I don't
I
think,
think
he
it's,
said yes
it's more
enough.
of a sport than a lot of other sports in the world, but let's put it this way: entertainment value. I'll sit down and watch that whole contest. I'm not watching 9 innings of baseball. I'm sorry.
Like stuff like that though, I feel like that and the spelling bee. I feel like
Well, spelling bees, that's different than spelling bee.
I don't think stuff like that should be on ESPN.
No. Spelling bee shouldn't be on ESPN, but the hot dog eating contest should be on ESPN.
Really?
Yes. Spelling. I don't care about spelling, but I'm marveling at the fact
Max,
that
do you know how to spell?
Max, how
not
do
as
you
good as
spell-
those 12-graders, but I mean 12-year-olds, but like
12th graders.
not as good as those
You mean,
12 to 14-year-olds. But you
mean,
know what? I can spell the word WOW. Wow.
You mean the
W wow.
you mean the high school seniors?
What?
How do you spell elaborate?
What are you trying to say?
How do you spell elaborate?
Elaborate. ELABORTE.
Did you spell it right?
YOU space SUCK.
Question. I'm like,
I wasn't listening. I was
Hey,
looking at something.
it's spelled.
then why bother if you're not gonna eat
Because I have 2 other people in the studio who can listen.
It's spelled YOU
it's
space
not. No.
SUCK.
It's ELABORATE.
SEXY.
It's not that good. It's not. It's like a 3rd grade. It's like a 2nd grade. Something I learned in 2nd grade. Come on.
Every time we had a spelling test, I just wrote the
It's
word
not like
down.
Ooze Macappa.
Huh?
What? Did you just say Uzma Kappa
Yeah.
from Monsters University?
Damn right I did.
Now, wait,
I did.
for-
I did. I did. Ooze Macappa,
Yeah,
Monsters
TNT
University.
crew. Right. What do you think about like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and the spelling bee being put on ESPN? Do you think they should focus on more like physical sports or this extra stuff?
I'm trying to figure out the best way to answer this. Because I think our money should be going to better causes than making sure people can eat 60 hot dogs.
Right.
And if these people have to have, look, I get it. If it's like a 7, 8-year-old spelling bee, that's one thing. But if you got to get up and have some dang 40-year-old grown man come up and do a spelling bee, that's how you know they're losing advertisement.
I came in like a
Wrecking ball.
All right, so I mean, I've got nothing else to say other than that.
I got nothing else to say
Yeah,
either.
I think we nailed it out of the park. I mean,
Literally.
so thank you all for listening today.
Wait, hold up. I gotta. So
No,
I don't,
Max, no.
What do you want to say?
well, I think there's the.
Literally, it's just so important.
Well, there
you
is
have to
a.
stop
well,
us.
there is some developments when it comes to head coaching.
Oh, what's going on with head coaching? And
So there is
Put me in, coach.
there in NFL. So obviously, it's off season. A lot of things are. A lot of people are looking for new coaches, and there is actually some rumors about, like for instance, like Josh McDaniels, who we know as like being one of the front runners as a head coaching job.
Yeah, don't take my coach.
It's a Patriots offensive coordinator, so therefore he doesn't want to take a coach. But you know what? The funny thing is, I woke up this morning, I found that
Started shooting piss missiles.
the Raiders had dinner with him last night in Vegas. So that I thought that was actually quite interesting. So that means that he is looking to leave the New England Patriots, where he lives so
Yeah,
well.
You know what?
and mighty.
I hope he signs with them and then quits after like a day, like he did with the Colts. So, I hope that happens.
All right.
That's all I can call for a day.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. This is JP Grace, Jason Statham,
Drip
and
drop
Max
flip flop.
Grace signing off. See you guys next week.
And Gray Rich.
Oh, and our special guest producer, Ray.
Wow, you just
Ray
forgot
Rich.
about Gray.
Forgot about Gray.
Thank you, JP, for taking over this episode, and thanks again to Gray. See you guys next time.